Hello there lovely crafters, it's Terry from Veegstez Create. Thanks for stopping by today. If you're new to my channel, an extra special welcome, and to my regulars, thank you for coming back and supporting me. So today it is the launch of the latest Tonic Craft Kit, which is the Follow Your Dreams rainbow gift box. So my regulars will know that whenever the kit includes a 3D make such as a box, I always do a comprehensive how-to construction style video with handy hints and tips along the way to make it easier for you. So that's the format that we're going to go for. But as you can see, the kit doesn't just have to be used to make gift boxes, it can also be used to make cards. In fact, I had so many ideas. I could have made 5 or 6 cards completely different just off the top of my head. So what will happen next is that I will show you the contents of the kit so that you know in advance what you'll be getting and what you'll be working with. And then we'll move on to the tutorial where I show you how to construct the box. So this is the box that I am going to show you how to make during this tutorial. And this I made off camera, and that one also. So let's dive in and have a look at the contents of the kit, shall we? Okay, so let's have a look at what we get in this craft kit. So first of all, the dies and stamps. What a gorgeous stamp, that is so pretty. So we've got a beautiful rainbow shape there with little hearts and a little rainbow which says sending sunshine to someone special, and then really cute little ones like another little cloud with a rainbow, lovies, follow your dreams, and a lovely pattern made up of rainbows. And then looking at the dies, we've obviously got the dies to construct the little purse, and then all these decorative dies as well. So you could colour that in and then cut it out with that, and likewise the same as that to decorate there, which is the lid, and there, which is the back. Or there's a gorgeous intricate die here that is so pretty, and that would be lovely to paper piece, which you would use in conjunction with that again. And then we've got this really cute little sunshine which has got cutting lines all the way around, so that could be used to cut into something, or could be used with that to create a little element on its own. And then we've got Follow Your Dreams in this gorgeous verso die, which you would use in conjunction with that to then stick on there. And then we've also got another one which looks like it says just for you. I think it might not be, but I'll cut it out and show you. And then we've got some little debossing dies as well. We've got thanks and smile, a cloud die, heart die, raindrops. Oh, this is just adorable. And then let's have a look at our colour palette. I bet that it's really nice and bright. Ta-da! So we've got buttermilk yellow. Ooh, I think that's electric purple in the mirror, the high gloss mirror. We've got, I think that's coral pink. That I believe is called clementine, and I don't remember ever seeing a clementine before. I know we've got a pumpkin orange, but I'm pretty sure that that's called clementine. We've got a red, I think that might be chili red, but I could be wrong. We've got, wow, a gorgeous glittery blue one of my favourites, fresh mint pearlescent card, and an apricot orange. So yeah, a complete rainbow palette there. absolutely everything that you would expect in such a kit. And then let's have a look at the Nuvo. Oh wow, okay, so we actually get a set of 12 colouring pencils. That's amazing. That's a really generous gift. Wow. Oh, lovely mica mist in Turkish rose. Oh, that's beautiful. So we can add some sparkle if we want to. And we can add more sparkle with lemon drizzle. Oh, this is just going to be a joy. This just screams summer and spring to me. Crushed grape Nuvo drops. Gosh, there's loads in here. Odyssey blue embossing powder. Don't think I've got that one. And some red line tape, which will be useful if you'd like to use that in construction. So what a fantastic array of goodies to play with. I am very, very chuffed. So let's crack on with the tutorial, shall we? Okay, so I'm now going to show you how to construct the actual Follow Your Dreams gift box. You actually only need 3 dies for the construction, so you need to cut 2 of these, which are the base, the back and the lid. 1 of these, which forms the side, which was that one. And then 1 of these, which has got a score line all along it, which forms a sort of pretty closure mechanism on the lid. It's a good idea to always fold and burnish all of your score lines before starting the project. And you can see that with these 2, I've gently curved them as well. And that's because they're going to go around a curved surface. Therefore, it's just easier if they have a curvature to them. It's going to be easier to glue them down. This needs to come as close to the score line as possible on both sides so that it's even there. And then once you're confident that it is, you use your bone folder. And I rave about it all the time, but I absolutely love the Nuvo Precision Glide folder, so I will link that in the description box below. It's fantastic for burnishing and for really getting the paper fibres to bed in, and it also squeezes out any excess glue that you might have there, which is great because you can then just wipe that off. So there we go, we've got the makings of our box. Just give this a bit more of a burnish. Always best to spend that extra little bit of time on each element. So with some projects, they're complicated in terms of they have lots of different parts. Some may be movable and you need to do lots and lots of die cutting, but they're actually quite easy to assemble. Whereas other die sets are actually minimal die cutting and assembly, but a bit more fiddly to assemble, and I would say that this project comes into that category. So this, which forms the wall, the front wall of the box, needs to be glued onto here, and then the glue tab gets glued onto the back there. So we'll gradually, 1 or 2 at a time, go round and adhere these little glue tabs. So just in case you haven't made like a project that's round before, whenever it's a rounded project, it always has like little teeth or little bits like this, because you can't have a straight line because it would buckle. And when it's like this, there's always the possibility that you might see a little bit of a gap between the glue tabs. it's good to spend the time to just make sure that the glue tabs are folded in line with the areas between them to try and avoid that happening. But ultimately, if you can see a tiny little bit poking through, it's not the end of the world. So if we bear in mind, so the glue tabs on the side are the thing we adhere last. So first of all, we adhere the glue tabs on the bottom. So just be aware of that and line up and figure out where your glue tab is going to be adhered before you stick the first one down, because you don't want it to be, you don't want to stick the tab down, for example, too close to this end and then your glue tab ends up too high. Might make more sense when I show you. So I'll dab a bit of glue on here. You don't need loads of glue with deluxe adhesive because it is very strong. So I'm going to try and line that up with the score line, which it is, and then try and get it to sit right on the edge of the curved base. So especially with this, the first few, just really take your time. Don't be gung-ho about this in any sense. So we've got it lined up there, so that should fit onto the back panel okay. You can see a bit of glue come through there, but that's all right, we can rub that off. And the easiest way to assemble it is like this, with the base on the surface, the gluing surface, and looking at it from both angles. You can do what I'm doing, and then sort of as you're pushing the glue tab outwards, remove any glue. So if I bring it up now, you can see that that's adhered there, and then I'll move it up to the side, it sits there and it meets the top there. So once we're confident that that's adhered properly, we can give it a little burnish with our Precision Glide folder. Throughout the various projects that I've made, I have used the colours in the kit, with the exception of this, which is sea salt green, and I'm going to flip between using the Precision nozzle and the regular nozzle, because it's much easier to get in to put glue on the glue tabs using the Precision nib than it is the other nib. So again, we look from this angle, I have some glue coming out, which we try and take off. I always remove my extra glue as I'm going along rather than leaving it to the edge and then trying to pick it off. I just personally find that's a bit easier. So as I'm going, I'm trying to push with my fingernail of my pointy finger to push it so that it fits right against the curve of the base, or as close as I can get it. So now you've seen me adhere the first 3 glue tabs in real time, I'm going to do the rest off camera and then come back to adhere the end and the 2 side glue panels. So now the majority of the glue tabs are adhered and I'm quite pleased with that. There's a tiny little bit there where you can see through, but that's completely fine by me. So not much room here to put the last bit on, but that's okay. Continuing on with the theme for this, which is just slow and steady wins the race. Needs to go out a little bit more, like me. Not be a hermit, staying and craft all the time. Perfect life, I love it. There we go, that's good there. And then I just checked, but these side glue tabs are lined up perfectly, because we ensured at the beginning that they were. When I was making a tester one, I wasn't so meticulous, and when I got to this end there was a gap because I had adhered the first of the little curved teeth too close to this end, so it looks a little bit baggy, and we don't want that. So we can get in there with our burnishing tool. Honestly, can't recommend this enough. Do you guys use these, or do you just sort of press or use your fingernails? I do have a plastic one, but I just find that these ones are so much better. So there is our basis for our box, and now we need to adhere this, the shorter end that has been folded, underneath the lid here, and that's what keeps the box shut and also makes it look like a slice of cake, I think. So again, it's best to check first. You don't want to put it right up to the edge, because otherwise there'll be a gap on the other side. So you have to sort of figure out whereabouts it needs to go. So I'll refer to an earlier one to show you. So you can see there that I had adhered it too close to the edge, so I ripped it off and stuck it back down again, and no one would ever know except you guys, because I'm telling you. So you need to just leave a gap of about 2 to 3 millimeters on each side. So this is very much the same as what we've just done to adhere the side of the box. So we're wanting to get as close as we can to the edge, but not beyond it, and we want to keep a gentle curve going round, which is why it's easier just to give it a curve before you start adhering it. Let's have a look. How does that look? Looks okay. Yep. Fiddle about with it a little bit more. Whilst it's a simple project, it's just one that you need to take your time with. Just a little bit fiddly to get right. We can see that those two teeth have adhered nicely. And I know I glued 2 teeth at first, but it is best, I think, just to glue 1 at a time, because you can be more precise then, because you haven't got to worry about the other one. So this one needs to come off a little bit because it was showing the gap of the tooth, and that should not happen with this. It's actually been folded so that you shouldn't see the gap between the teeth. So if you do, then you just need to adjust it slightly. But I do quite like it when little things like that happen during filming processes, because then I get to show you how to fix things, and that it's okay if you have to pull up something that you've just glued down. It doesn't matter if you don't get it perfect first time. That's why it's so important to just take our time with things. But even when you take your time, sometimes things go a little bit awry, and that's okay, because no one's going to know once this is completed that I had to pull that up and move it around a little bit. Okay, so that's the first 4 teeth adhered. So I'm going to do as I did before, do these off camera and then just come back and show you the last one, and then we can look at decoration options. See you back in a mo. Okay, so just getting ready to glue on the last tab now. And you can see what I mean. Hopefully you can see that it's about 2 to 3 millimeters of a gap there on each side. So just bear that in mind when you start gluing your little teeth of your closure mechanism on. Okay, so fingers crossed, close, and there we go. Oh. I have noticed that with some of them, they do this. It's like they don't want to stay closed. I'm not sure why. It's like they're a bit temperamental is what I'm trying to say. Sometimes they close, sometimes they don't. Like this one, when I first made it, it didn't close. Whereas now it closes. But what I did find is that if I pushed the teeth all in like this, and then closed it, that it did close better. So that's what I think has helped this one to stay closed. See, it's difficult to get the teeth back around it now. Get in there. Yeah, so if you're finding that it's lifting up, try that. And then what I also did on the other one that I've made, so this one I haven't decorated yet, that was my first one, my sample that I was making. I am going to decorate it, but that was sort of my test run. So just leave it a little bit and maybe we'll close. But what I did with my other one, which my Nuvo drops are still drying on, is I added, so the base of this I made in the apricot, but it wouldn't stay closed even with my little trick of pushing the teeth in. So I added a contrasting panel of pink, and then I had to be careful because my Nuvo drops are still drying. That closes perfectly now. So in order to do that, I just used this die with the fuchsia pink cardstock and then trimmed off the glue tabs, and that made a nice contrast with the orange of my lid, and also helped it to stay on better. So you can see that staying on perfectly. So for this one, which will be one of the samples that I'm sending off to Tonic, I used the beautiful stamp set that we've got here. I coloured this with the Nuvo coloured pencils that we've got, And even though there's only 12 coloured pencils, don't forget you can mix the colours together to get more colours. So for example, I've managed to get some nice definition on the pink hearts by adding some red and then going out more lightly with the pink and then adding some white on the poofier bits, and similarly with the blue. So I was going for the effect that this is rounded, so I press much harder with the coloured pencil on the outsides and then more lightly on the inside. And again with this orange strip I used some red, assuming that there would be some shadow cast from the sunburst. So just, you don't have to have lots of coloured pencils, alcohol markers, etc. in order to achieve some depth and dimension. And with the Follow Your Dreams, I thought that was really cute. So this one is all decorated using the stamps and the crushed grape Nouveau drops, so they'll dry looking just like that. They're self-leveling, they'll be nice and shiny, so it's a really nice contrast. And I do think that this looks like a piece of cake. It looks like that's the cake frosting. So that's my first sample. So for this make I wanted to use the decorative Verso die, which is this one. So to make the purple outline, I taped those two together. I ran that through the die cutting machine. Then I cut a piece of yellow cardstock just using the outside and glued the purple onto the yellow. And I'll tell you an easy tip actually. So when you're using mirror card, because it's a delicate little flower, it doesn't like to be held by tweezers because it'll mark. So just turn it over, put glue everywhere, and then place in this case, the yellow half circle over the top of it, and then turn it over and then rub away any bits of glue. I then cut two more. So I got the blue so that I could use the fallout pieces to do paper piecing, and I did the same with fuchsia pink. And with the fuchsia pink one, which is still in here so that I can reuse, because I just think it's absolutely gorgeous. This is the new big fat roll of double-sided adhesive. So I cut myself the piece of fuchsia pink cardstock, taped the two dies together as usual, and then I just stuck a piece of the double-sided adhesive on the back, trimmed it off the roll, and then I trimmed all round it because I didn't want any of the stickiness to be showing when I was running it through the die cutting machine. And then I did all the paper piecing, and it does make it a lot easier with the paper piecing, having the back sticky rather than adding glue into especially because they're quite small places. So purple and green tend to look really nice together. So I did that, and then, you know, the sentiment that I wasn't sure what it says just for you. So for that I used again purple for the front, yellow for the back. I did a little bit of paper piecing with the fuchsia pink, and then you see these infilled bits here, I used some Nouveau drops. So I just blobbed a tiny bit in each and then just moved it around so that it went to the edges with my pokey tool. So I can go ahead and glue this to the completed box now. And then I'll see what it's doing. If I'll try my little hack with the folding the teeth inwards and see if that will make it stay shut, and if not, I'll add another piece of the sea salt green over the top. That looks really pretty. So if you do like your paper piecing, you will love this set. And if you like to do a little bit of colouring, you'll love this set. So I've now stuck down both the top and the back pieces, and I think that looks super cute. So I'm going to go ahead and cut another one of these and stick that on, and then hopefully that should keep it shut. So I'll do that off camera, and then I'll be back in a moment to show you the completed articles. I might even have a bonus project for you, who knows? Okay, so here we are with the completed projects. So the box that I made during the tutorial is this one. By adding that extra strip on the front, it's made it close beautifully. Then there is the one that I made off camera but showed you earlier, where I used these stamps. It would also be really nice for a card, this, definitely really pretty. You could use it as quite a clean and simple card just by colouring that element, and again that opens and shuts quite easily. And what I would suggest, if you're finding that the lid is wanting to not stay closed, is add an extra panel there. Try the hack of pushing the tabs in, and then those things should remedy it. There's also the option of adding a magnet. So what I've done here, this box did close, but I decided to add a magnet. So this is just a thin strip of the orange cardstock that I glued onto here, and then I glued a magnet onto the bottom, and then glued an extra buttermilk yellow half circle onto the bottom, and then I stuck the magnet on there, and that stays beautifully shut. I also thought it'd be a nice idea to put a bit of ribbon here and here to sort of hold it as like a little handbag. I thought that that would be really cute for a child, for a young child, to put a few things in and carry around. And just the simple "just for you" on there. So I've used the "just for you" sentiments on both of these. This one says "follow your dreams," obviously because it's the rainbow dream box, the Follow Your Dreams rainbow box. And then remember I said that I thought that this pattern would make a beautiful mandala design. So I made a card using leftovers. So I had cut the blue panel so that I could get the bits to paper piece here, and again the pink panel, and I used these spare fuchsia pink die cuts also, and then I went over the yellow bits in the lemon drizzle, which I'm hoping you can see in the light. It looks gold, and in fact when you use it on its own it looks gold. It's a very yellow gold. It's gorgeous, and it's packed full of mica, so it's really nice. So I obviously made another one of them, which didn't take too long at all, and then I used the other sentiment. So we've got the "just for you," and this is the "follow your dreams." So I cut a backing panel in fuchsia pink, then I cut the main panel in the electric purple, and then I cut another panel in the buttermilk and just did it as a drop shadow just behind there, which I think that makes it pop even more against the pink. And then I used the fallout pieces of the yellow to put back into there, and then added some of the lemon drizzle glitter marker over the top. So there we go. So 3 boxes and a card. So I'm really pleased with all of these actually. I think they'd be nice to give as a set. So if you're giving someone something small, if you've bought someone a bracelet or some earrings or something like that, that would be really cute to put in there, and then have a matching card with the mandala style. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial today and picked up some tips, and I hope that when you get your kit you now have some tips of, if you're, I mean, you might not have the problem that I had with getting it to close, but if you do, at least now you have ways to remedy it. And if nothing works, then bang a magnet on the bottom. It's always good to have magnets in your stash. So if you're not a kit subscriber, if you're not a regular to my channel, I would really recommend these craft kits. I'm on the Tonic design team, so I get sent these for free to make samples for the launches. But before that, for a year, over a year, I was making the videos and buying the products myself because they're just such fantastic value for money. So if you're thinking about getting a kit, I would suggest subscribing, because it's $4.99 cheaper to subscribe, and you can cancel at any time. So rather than buying a one-off box for $34.99, you could do that to see if you like it, or you could just sign up for the subscription. But to be honest, I love all of the kits, and even ones that you might look at and think, I'm not sure if that's really my style, you'll always find ways to use it. So for example, if you're not really into making boxes, you've got a beautiful mandala design, you've got gorgeous die cut sentiments. There are things in the kit that I haven't even used that are really nice for scene building, like raindrops, there's a heart, there's 2 debossing dies, thanks and smile, this rainbow here. So these kinds of things appeal to most people. So if you're just a card maker and you don't want to make 3D makes, you don't have to make the box, you can just make cards, and there's loads of different ideas that I'm sure you can come up with. So if you do decide that you want to try a kit, try out the subscription, try out some of the products that I've used, then I would love it if you would use my affiliate links in the description box. When people purchase through my affiliate links, I get a small commission from that at no extra cost to yourself, which is just a really nice perk for me really, and helps to support me and my channel. So if you've enjoyed this video, please use your thumb, give it a like and leave me a comment. Let me know what you think of the boxes and the card, and if you've got any questions or queries, and I'll always get back to you. If you're new to my channel, feel free to have a look around. I've got various playlists. I'm on the design team for Tonic Studios, so I've got loads of Tonic Studios content, and there's also going to be a lot of Spellbinders content coming up. I've also got a craft room reorganisation series that's part way through on there as well, so just have a mooch around, and if you're interested, consider subscribing and hit the notification bell so that you get notified when I upload a new video. So that's all from me today, Terry, and I will see you soon with some more crafty goodness. Bye for now.